To you, happy Tuesday to you. It's the day of the woman. Happy Tuesday to you. I was waiting for Eduardo to get up, but he's not up yet. Hi, Purple Jack. So I may have to leave and get him situated when he wakes up. But I'm just sitting there. Mark's coming over at 11, so I got to hurry up and get moving. Dan's in court, so I'm like, well, Zoomy's on watch for Grandpa, so I'll have to get him up and get him going. Hi, David. Hi, Aline. Hi, Lizette. Hello, Chanel, Mike, Brady, Janet, two Janets back to back. I had another day. I went to put on a movie last night while Dan and his friend and Andrew ended up going to the concert last night. He invited a friend, and so they had a good time. I ended up going to bed. Hi, Nona. At like at 7:30 again. It was so wonderful. Grandpa went to bed about 6:38, and I was like, what do I do? I feel like I have the whole house to myself. I did. I crawled in bed and turned on a movie and fell asleep, I think, by 7:30. Of course, I had to get up a couple times because Grandpa was up, but yep, it was wonderful. So I'm hoping, I think I feel a little bit better today, which is good because this kicked my ass. My shots kicked my ass. As far as exhaustion, like it wasn't bad, but just tiredness just kicks my ass. I took a 3-hour nap yesterday, another 3-hour nap yesterday. Danielle doesn't do that. So I was tired. I woke up and I was like, Dan, I can't go. I'm just not feeling it. I'm so tired. So Andrew brought a friend, which was good. They had a great time. So other than that, today's Tuesday. It's the day of the sob. That's right. All you strong ass bitches say, hey, we're here. We are moving. We are grooving. And we don't get a day off, right? Sunny Cat, what the hell? I see you're doing okay in the pool. What about home? Can you put the ducks in? I mean, the ducks will live in your pool, but you don't want them in your pool. They will ruin your pool. So you don't want, it'll ruin. I had to get a new filter system. They shit everywhere. Do not put ducks in your pool. They will live anywhere. But if you want to spend money on your pool, allow them. But they killed my pool. My two tween grandmas went to that concert last night with their friends and their mom. Oh, they are growing up on you. Yep. 50th birthday today. Happy birthday, Angel. You have to take your, our lives do not stop. Oh, really, Amanda? My friend sent me a couple different Michigander shirts. So yes, our jobs doesn't stop, whether it's our birthday, whether, you know, Dan's best friend from high school was here, right? So I sat with him this morning while Dan was getting ready for court, and he left pretty early, so I sat with Scott. Dan calls him Moose. Yeah, we did have ducks in the pool, but not by choice. No, abort the mission. Hi, Marty, how are you? So, Dan, so I sat and stopped with Scott for like an hour this morning before they left. And he said, he's like, gosh, Dan really doesn't do anything, does he? I said, nope. But other than that, he said, yeah, that's crazy, the Ed thing. And he's like, and I haven't even been around it very much, but I can see that it's tiring. This has got to be monotonous. And I said, no. Oh no, Marty. Hopefully it's not the Jack in the IV. So I said, yeah, it is. And like, I haven't been feeling my best self the last couple of days. You still have to do it, right? We don't get days off. I still had to get up and shower him yesterday. I clipped his toenails. I clipped his nails. I shaved him. Wild turkey. Ugh. with a splash of Gatorade for the IV. Gillian today because grandbaby dropped in the walker and went after it. He ended up oh my God, Annette, that is hilarious. How stormy. So yeah, I was like, this is a tough gig, a tough gig. He's going to, men will straighten out, men have a hard time. And it's really cool because he's retired military. So he stays home. He travels with the daughter for softball and all that stuff, for camps. He's like the what's the daddy? What was that movie? Who was in it? He's the dad mom. What's going on in Florida? Haven't seen the news. He's a Mr. Mom. Thank you. God, that was hard work. He's a Mr. Mom. And his wife works. She's a teacher. So, he does everything. He's like, I do everything. Because, my wife works and he does all the shopping. He does everything. Yeah. He's like, God, he's like, I haven't even been here very much, but he said, I drove up and I saw the garbage cans out front. And he said, I knew Dan didn't do that. I said, hell no, he doesn't. He's like, yeah, he's just always holding up his chair. I said, yeah, so that's what Scott always says. Are you in the chair? Are you in the chair? Heading right back there. Praying for Florida, we're embracing okay, so there's another system. I think I heard last night while the TV was on. I sleep with the TV on just for the background noise when Dan's not home. And I heard something about, I think some storms. So, yeah, and people get so mad at him on Facebook and YouTube. Not Facebook, I don't have Facebook, abort that mission. On TikTok and YouTube. Bye, Mary. Hi, Mary. But here's the thing. I've done it, I've been that person. I created the beast. But rightfully so, When I stayed home, when I stopped working, it was my job to take care of the kids in the house and, everything. So now that times have changed, right? And he's not in the office and all that shit. Yeah, he should, but he doesn't. So it is what it is. How's Velcro on his ass? Yes. Dan has a lot of Velcro on his chair. Yep. So it is what it is, you guys. He does well in other areas, but most areas he fails. You're lucky in the UK. Yeah, we don't get those, storms. But I heard, what were the names of the two storms? I don't remember because I was sleeping. But, hi, Margaret. I was thinking to myself last night, like, what names? Who do they come up with these? Helene, yes. In the Gulf of Mexico by Wednesday, a hurricane landfall is likely along the Florida Gulf Coast Thursday night. Got it. I heard Helene, but there was another one. Anyhow. Hi, Christine. Anyhow. crazy. So it is what it is, you guys. I know some of you are fortunate enough to have your significant others participate, right? I have never. So, and plus, those people who do, right? I've also created a piece. I've been dropped in my lap. Yeah, new roof siding, gutters. I do all that shit. You know, I do everything. I do everything. Literally, finances, taxes, repairs. But yes, it is what it is, you guys. I also, if I was patient enough, which you have to understand, if I was patient enough to leave the mess there, right? To leave the mess there, then he would clean it up. He would clean it up. But I am up way before him. And I know some of you will come back and say, well, he should clean as he makes it. But he doesn't. He's half asleep, half burning, half irritated because he can't sleep. It just doesn't work that way. So I clean it up. It is what it is. It is what it is. So I like to bash him. I like to have fun with his sloppiness because I'm demure. I'm classy, I'm mindful, and I respect my husband like most women do. And by respecting them, right, you have to sometimes bash their ass on social media. It's very classy, very demure. I get up, this morning I got up at 6:30. Yeah. And Dan normally, sometimes he'll get up. He had to get up because of court this morning. But normally he'll stay in bed for a little bit. I did not go to the concert and make another mess in a different spot. Hurricane Danielle goes through the house, yeah. Isn't Dan working all the time as a lawyer? Is Dan working all the time as a lawyer? Woo! Woo! No. Dan has not worked full-time as a lawyer probably for the last 10 years. Oh, shitballs, that's funny. No, Dan has not, to be fair. Oh, shit. I love when people who are outside of my family, I love how they make excuses for Dan. Oh, sorry. That's funny. Have you ever put the clean laundry basket on his chair? No. Yeah, he is working and driving me crazy. Oh my God. Yeah, no. He's just never been one of those people. Never have. I mean, has he ever cleaned a toilet? Maybe at 19 when he had a house cleaning service. Never has cleaned a toilet in my house. Never done laundry. Let me see, what else has he never done? Never mopped a floor. He's maybe vacuumed once or twice because I was coming home. And it was a genuine question. It wasn't really a genuine question. It really wasn't a genuine question. There was a little passive aggressiveness in that question, assuming that I'm the woman, I stay home, he works full time. Come on. I can see through the BS. I don't think it was a genuine question. Because typically when people say that, they're not genuine. They're not. I'm so sorry. My opinion. What about when you guys gave birth? Was Dan helpful? In what way? He held a leg. Yeah, he held a leg. But no. Was he helpful with the babies? No. Did he change diapers? Yes, because he had to. So, no. Not a big helper. He's spoiled. Very spoiled. Yes. Ed would do more than Dan would. 100%. If I could, If I could have had help, he would help me. Ed would no doubt help me around the house, but he can't. Hi, Janet. It's the older generation. Yeah, but a lot of people say those things, right? To be fair, you stay home, he works. So isn't it your job? Come on. Y'all, those are underlying messages. Those are underlying meanings to those questions. So to me, in my opinion, those types of questions are passive aggressive, and they're meant to put a little dig on me. Basically like, you stay home, right? You shouldn't complain. He supports you, blah, blah, biscuit. My husband is 70 and does everything I do. You're lucky. I wouldn't even know. Being spoiled and being youngest is a curse for relationships later in life. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. You know, relationships are not easy, right? We all have our faults. We all bring different things to the table, good and bad. Hi, Danielle. I don't work. Woohoo! Remember on TikTok, tapping is clapping. Tap, 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 tap. Thumbs up on YouTube. Relationships aren't easy. I luckily have a platform and I can have fun with my husband because that's the way it helps me cope with his laziness, right? It's frustrating, right? It's frustrating. You're a kept woman. I'm jealous. What would it be like to be kept? We did not go on last night because Dan was at a concert. Yeah. I wouldn't even know. And would I really like to be a kept woman fully? I'm used to doing and moving and grooving. I couldn't imagine not having, you know, many responsibilities. Yeah, you're retired. Yeah, no, and I thought about maybe going on myself because I didn't go because I was so tired. I ended up going to bed again at 7:30, so I couldn't. I enjoyed my night with nobody home. Grandpa was sleeping, and I put on a movie, fell asleep, and it was amazing. I wish I had one of those to exercise. I bet it helps a lot, doesn't it? Well, I mean, anything you do can be exercise. You don't need machines to get moving. We did dishes and other chores together. That's sweet. That would be nice. That would be nice. I would love help in the yard, right? So I got to go work when I want. You won the lotto. Good for you. Yeah. Have I watched Monster? No. I saw a preview for it though last night when I was looking. I put on a movie about three sisters whose dad was dying, and then I fell asleep. So I forgot what it was called. So here's the thing. Movement, walking, dancing, whatever you can do to get moving is all you need to do. Yeah. Well, I know I had some vaccines, Cindy, so I knew that was my issue, plus my period. My wife says I don't do bathrooms. That's nice. I wish somebody did something other than me. I'm constantly moving. Yesterday, I actually was feeling so overwhelmed with just everything because I was tired. Dan has his friends coming and his daughter, so I had to get upstairs and straighten things out, get things cleaned up, wipe down upstairs. And I was just so tired that I was just overwhelmed and I just didn't want to do those things, right? So I cried a little bit. Not on purpose, it just started coming out because I was just like, I've had it, you know? I've had it. I'm just exhausted. I'm tired of picking up after everybody. Hey, Nug. I'm tired of just being the only person in this house that does anything for this house and for everybody else. So I do get my moments. Then I pull put on my big girl panties. Actually, Coco came in bed with me as I laid down. I came inside. I ate after I thought I had a PT appointment. Nope, they canceled it on me. Didn't know. Went all the way there. Come home. I heard through Dan talking on the phone to Scott that he wasn't going to be here till like 5. So I ate and I cried. I just went to bed. I just laid in bed. I cried. Coco came up on the bed, licked my tears on both eyes, licked this one, then went to this one, and this one, and then I just crashed. I fell asleep for like 3 hours off and on. And that's what happens, right? That's what happens. You just get overwhelmed, you get tired. When you get tired, you get overwhelmed. And I was overwhelmed. I took my nap, I got up, I said, I'm not going tonight. I'm way too tired. I don't feel right. I still gotta get the rooms ready. So I got up, got the rooms ready, and was just kind of, the rest of the night. Ed went to bed about 6:38. I got ready for bed, and then I laid in bed. And it was probably a really good, well-deserved night. And that's normal, right? When we caregive, our regular families, we can say, fuck you, y'all are on your own, right? But when you're caring for a loved one with some sort of need, it doesn't matter. We just gotta keep pushing through. We gotta cry. We gotta do what we can to get through the moments and know that eventually they're gonna go to bed and we get a little bit of time. Do you get any paid support? No. We all get our time for ourselves, right? I mean, like Dan goes, probably 3/4 of the time he leaves for errands during the week. He leaves his dad with me. I go and watch my Nuggets, play sports on the weekends. Sometimes I go to the casino and have my alone time. But it's mostly separate, right? Because we don't have the freedom anymore to do things together. It is the way it is. That's what happens when you take care of somebody like Ed, right? So we're okay with whatever happens. I'm going to a quick trip to Nashville at the end of October for my cousin is getting married in Italy this week. I think this weekend is her actual date. So all my family's there. I couldn't go because why? Because I have responsibilities at home. And so they're having like a reception for everybody who couldn't make it and or wasn't invited at the end of October. So me and Josh are flying out for that with Wesley, and it's going to be just a quick turnaround. So it is what it is. So I'll get a little bit of a break then, but I don't leave for more than 4 days, 3 days, 3.5 days, because it's just too hard. It's too hard. So it is what it is, you guys. You do the best you can. But you give up your freedom when you take care of somebody. It is what it is. Yeah, it's beautiful where they're getting married. Does it affect your marriage taking care of Ed? It affects probably, I can't say it doesn't affect my marriage, right? It affects it. And different, oh, he's up. Okay, give me a minute. He's up, I gotta get him changed. Give me a minute. I'll get back to the marriage thing. Thanks, Tammy. Marriage talk. Of course, every marriage is going to be affected in some ways, right? Every marriage is going to be affected in small ways, sometimes big ways. You have things like intimacy, that gets affected. You're tired, right? You have less patience for each other when you're both up and down all night long. But the most important thing is you have teamwork, right? You have teamwork that you just try to do the best you can and understand those things. It changes you. You'll never be the same person again. It does. It does change you because, I sacrifice. I've lost friendships, because maybe my friends don't call me anymore because I can't do things like I used to. So it is what it is. Do I become resentful? I don't think resentful. I think resentful is too powerful of a word. But do I become angry sometimes? Yep. And sometimes I, get more. I don't get mad at Ed. I get more angry at Dan. Like you'll hear me, go take care of your father. Because there's a lot of expectations put on me, and I think in women in general. So, I get angry at Dan sometimes for not recognizing, like where I'm at emotionally and phically, because he doesn't see things the way I see things, right? So, it's hard on a marriage. Yeah, it's hard on a marriage. And that's a lot of the reason why I tell my kids, I don't want you to do this, If you can afford to hire a nurse or something like that, fine. But put me in a home. Put me in a home. It's hard 24/7, And the more time that I'm doing it, the more time I'm tired. And I'm like, what? This is so hard. But I know, right, that when the time comes to an end, like Liggy said, at that point, I'm gonna have to redefine myself. I was a mom. I was a soccer watcher. We followed our daughter everywhere. And then I became a social media person to make up for no more soccer, no more accolades that my daughter was getting. Just because you don't like his behavior doesn't mean you don't love him less. No, absolutely not. Being a menace. I will be a menace. I will be a menace. I already know I'm going to be a menace. So, I think that I'm going to, luckily I still have social media, and hopefully I do social media for a long time. So I had that to fall back on to keep me kind of focused, but I couldn't imagine not having these platforms, right? This brought me through redefining myself as a mom who's not needed as much, right, for her kids. And it helped redefine me as a creator, influencer, and a caregiver. So eventually, we all caregive, right? We all caregive to our family. I'm caregiving extra to another person of the family. So it'll get weird, I'm sure. It'll get more tedious, I'm sure. And then who knows after Ed passes who else I'm gonna have to take care of, you know? I just hope Dan and I get some time to be able to enjoy us. And this goes along with marriage in a whole, right? Is my whole life I've caregived, right? I've caregived. Hi, Nick. I caregived for my kids, right? Up until they left the house. I still do it. Now I caregive for my father-in-law and everybody else. So I am a caregiver through and through. Yeah, I mean, my platform isn't just about Ed. My platform is about everything. My platform has never been just about Ed, right? It's been about our family. It's been about our journey taking in Dan's dad. I have grown my platform into so much more than just that. Me as a person, you know, talking about my trials and tribulations of marriage, of individual shit through menopause. So I'm more than just, Dan just does his dad, right? He just does his dad. Do you think you will gain or lose followers after Ed is gone? I don't have a magic 8-ball. I'm sure there are people, I wouldn't say on my account, because my account has been built up over the last several years with people who have come for Ed and who have stayed for me. So Dan now just does Ed. I have so many different avenues to my platform. So I'm sure those people who just follow for Ed will bounce, but in the process, you still gain every day. Did you ever want to work a 9 to 5? I did work a 9 to 5 for many years. So, and I'm 19, I'm trying to care for him. Margaret, it's hard. It's hard. I am an empath. Notice, I don't comments about my name, Barbie. You have being able to express yourself, yes. So I feel like this platform has given me so much more of a voice than just taking care of Ed. People enjoy, people show up every day. You know, probably 300 to 400 people every day, sometimes more, to listen to me in the morning time. Has nothing to do about Ed. Nothing. Nothing. I've created more. So, and Margaret, you think about it, my mom, right? If my mom was still alive, she was 20 years younger than Ed. 20 years younger than Ed. So I always think about that today. Actually, I talked about it the other weekend when I went out to lunch with Joanne, right? And I said, I wonder if, you know, my mom would have done this and taken care of him. And Dan and her basically said, no way. She would have probably had him in a home or put in for a nurse at the house. So it's hard. You just can't do Ed by yourself. And it's hard, right, Margaret? You know, your freedom is gone, even at 82. Was it you 82? No, he's 82. But as 20 years, I mean, you're in your 60s. You're in your 60s. I mean, you still have a long life ahead of you, right? So there's no easy way. There is no easy way. So husband needs to realize this lady's ready to split. He needs to drop everything, focus on the old lady. I love when people troll and their grammar and their syntax of their sentences are just completely disheveled. Shows hell smart. Hey squirts, still squirts, huh? I'm keeping you and your family in prayers. Thank you. Wish you. Oh, so your husband is a wonderful stepdad. You know, and I wish. Still can't change. That's so funny. Have you told any of your family about the squirters? Any of your friends? I still giggle over that one. Oh, Stephen, I love it. I love it. You know, as far as Ed's concerned, you know, Margaret, you've been here long enough. You know that it was really hard for me to take him in because of the past trauma that he and I have. And sometimes I get angry. Linda, I think you'd asked if I was resentful. No, I maybe was. I sent my 15-year-old son something. It was Mom. I think I was resentful for many years, but I'm not resentful now. I was resentful that I had to take care of a man that provided me with so much angst. He gave me my anxiety, and so on and so forth. I was resentful at first, yeah. Because I thought, how can anybody expect me, let alone my husband, expect me to take care of a man that I wasn't happy about, right? That was hard. That was hard, right? I was fucking hard. So, he wasn't a good person to me or my mom. He just, I mean, I shouldn't say good. It's such a complicated issue that, but I was resentful. Sometimes I look at him, especially when he's antsy with me and has these anxiety. I look at him and I said, listen here, buddy. Listen here. All right. So, you know, it's not easy, no. And I still get triggered like anybody else. He gets triggered, I get triggered. Yeah. Well, I think, hold on, Bluetooth. He wasn't a cheater, no. He just was very controlling, very myopic in his views and his ways, you know? So, hold on, let me turn off Bluetooth. Hey Siri. Hey Siri. So I was trying to get Bluetooth off because of the car. Sorry. No, he wasn't an abuser or anything like that. He was just a control freak and he didn't know how to communicate. So, Siri's deaf. Yeah, just ignore the ninnies. I was always harsh, critical, and condescending. Yeah, and you know, Ed was kind of that way, you know? He was very critical. He wanted things his way and his way only. And if he didn't get his way, you know, everybody was going to pay. You know, he paid, he had the control. And you better listen to everything he says. Or else, off with your heads. He just sat down about 10 minutes ago. So, and Dan, we often differ in our observations of those times, right? But it was different times. Dan had a different time than I had a different time. Getting ignored, always. So yes, he was King Edward. That's what it was, Barbie. He expected to be heard. He expected you to do what he was told, because if he was paying, he was providing some way, somehow, then you bow down, right? So his word choices weren't always great when he was communicating. I have to always be careful and try to be respectful about my husband's father, right? But it's a lot of tricky times in the past. My husband sounds a lot like how Ed was. Yeah, and it was horrible. So there was a lot of resentment, especially because of my mom, right? I was my mom's biggest protector, and he failed her in so many ways. It was just not pleasant. Now the man has turned into a saint. I wouldn't say a saint. Ed was a yeller. Yep. Ed was a yeller. He was condescending a lot, especially if things didn't go his way. He was a gaslighter, major gaslighter, right? That sounds like that's related to education and money. Yes, Ed's always been into education and money. So it's hard. Bye, Stephen. Have a good day. It's hard. And it's hard to take on this role when you have so much anger, right? That you've been slowly working through. It doesn't mean that I'm going to be perfect all the time, right? It doesn't mean that I'm going to be the perfect person, just like a son, just like his kids get triggered by him, right? His kids get triggered by him too. Why do you think that is? So I've lived with Ed most of my life. Of course, when people say, oh, of course, he's not your father. Oh, but you missed a lot of information. Because if anybody's triggered, it's me, right? It's funny because Joanne and I typically are, have the same views, right? Because I got Ed at the end of her marriage with him. I got that version of him. I said, was he always this way, right? Is he always this way? And she said, no. He just changed over time. He changed over time. He wasn't this way. I would never have married him. After so many years, she finally said, I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not going to be under his iron fist. And so that's what happened. All right. Did I do it? Okay. I hid that wish. I don't know what was happening, but I saw a lot of you. So I think, he reminds me in my 10s. So yes, by the way, if anybody has any relation out of the family, it's probably more me than anybody else. He's probably lived with me longer than all of his own kids. So I have every right to be triggered. I have every right to have my feelings sometimes when he still looks at me like a little girl and he says, what do you know? What do you know? What do you know? Yeah, that triggers me. Because it brings back old memories, right? Yes, you finally got your wish. So, just like with anything, right? Just like with anything, any parents, anything we have, our parents trigger us, right? When my mom, before she died, she triggered me. She would say things, and how many times do we oh my God, Mom, already, right? Do you accept Ed is ill? What is there to accept? He is ill. He's always been ill in some way. I mean, let's be real. Ed has always been ill in a way. He has dementia now, right? So he's forgetful. Do you accept it? You can accept it, but it still doesn't mean it makes it easier. You still get frustrated. You still get mad. My kids. Yeah. Well, it's funny because you're a good example of age doesn't always come with wisdom. Oh, coming from a ninny. Yeah. It's funny because I trigger my daughter, right? I mean, she got pissed off at me the other day because I was like, all right, just take it easy. Mom! And then she hasn't talked to me in a couple days. You know, you never know what you say to irritate your kids. He's always been somewhat ill before dementia. Come on, his brain is not normal. I mean, he's always been a little ill, aren't we all? We're all on the spectrum. We are all on the spectrum, some way, somehow. Ed's always been on the spectrum, and he hasn't been easy to deal with. End of story. Yeah, breathing is. Do you ever need to correct his words around your shoulder? No. Not now. No, I mean, he's not that way as he was when he was younger. I mean, sometimes he tries to, like this morning, you know, he got up because he got up, you know, and he was really irritated because he didn't recognize Scott, Dan's friend Moose. And, you know, I'm trying to lead him back to bed, go to bed. Well, what's he doing here? I said, Ed, this is my house. He's a friend. You're okay. And he's like, oh, this is your house? You know, I videoed a little bit of it, but I said, yes, after the third time he got up, I videoed. Because he kept forgetting to go to the bathroom every time he got up. So he gets up to go to the bathroom and then gets sidetracked by lights and all that stuff. Yeah, breathing. And with some of your kids, you know, they get triggered by certain things. I'm being a mom, you know, and being a mom sometimes is just irritating. So I get triggered by my kids. Fine. I just won't ask you anymore. I won't be a mom to you anymore. Fuck you. Don't ask me for money, bitch. How about that? So if you're not strict, you won't get him to shower exercise. Needs a bad cop. Yeah, you're triggered by my toddlers. Let me tell you about my toddlers too. Shit, I was triggered by my infants waking up in the middle of the night after an hour and a half of sleep, making my titties bleed. That was triggering. 4 and 3, that's a big trigger. God, I don't miss those ages. I don't miss those ages. Everybody could be a trigger. Just people like to make it about Ed, and that's just stupid, and it shows your small mind. So it's so funny because I do, and then I call Hannah and I bitch to Hannah. I'm like, have you talked to your sister? God, she pissed me off, and Hannah just laughed. She goes, I know, she pisses me off too. God! Oh, you need help? Credit card's canceled. See how you respect your mother. Of course I don't, because I'm an enabler. I do to everybody. But it still doesn't mean I don't get triggered and my feelings don't get hurt, right? Doesn't mean that I take care of Ed every day, the house and everything else, and I don't get triggered because I'm the only one working my ass off, right? Come on, people. Expand your minds. Hi from Davis, Mario. You're close. We aren't that far away. I go to Davis for soccer all the time. I'm 50. So I'm a hard worker, you know. Would I want it any other way? Probably not. I would still do this. I would still do what I do. I make Andrew lunch. Come on. I just said, you know what? I don't like you going all day without eating, and then you come home and you're ravenous. So I'm gonna make you a sandwich, right? I would do it anyway. I just like to make fun of myself and my family because why not? It's fun. We'll always stand up for you guys and your care for Ed. They don't, Eric. Hi, Eric. How are you? You know, it's fine. People are just ignorant, and people think that, oh, the mastitis. My titties were so hard. I remember just, the stories of just, I don't feel good. And you have this newborn and you're like, nipples are bloody. And then you're, fuck these kids. So it's hard, it's hard. It's not easy. I get triggered by everybody in my house. I get triggered by my dog. She follows me around nonstop. And when I'm trying to get shit done and this bitch is at my heels or in front of me or stopping to see where I'm going, what the fuck? Does Andrew have his page up yet? Yes. But I told him I wasn't gonna share his page yet until he put some things on there. So, God, I got mad at her today and I need her out of the way. I'm like, bitch, if you don't get out of my way, she's gonna kill me one of these days. Or I'm gonna break a leg or something. What do you do when you get triggered? Sometimes I yell and scream and tell everybody they suck. Xanax, I'd pop a gummy. It depends. Sometimes I'll just go outside and I'll do yard work. I'll stress clean. Sometimes in really bad moments when I'm triggered, I've left in a car with no shoes and no wallet, because I just can't anymore. I just can't. Dan does portray him in a different way. And that's, I know, Paulette. And this bitch has taken me outside, like just totally clipped running around looking for Baxter, and then me being clueless, bending over to pick something up, boom, on my ass. She's gonna kill me inside. Dan, but you gotta remember, Pam, my experience with Ed was much different than Dan's, right? My experience with Ed was from 5 on. Dan had his dad up until 8 or ish, and then he moved out of the house, right? So completely different. And I personally think that Dan has also blocked out a lot of things because of his coping mechanisms. Remember, we all have trauma. We all have ways in which we cope with them. There is just some things, the stories that Joanne tells, that there is no way that this guy doesn't feel some sort of way. So what do you cook in the evenings? I know you feed him good. Always a salad. We always have some sort of protein, veggies, pastas, burritos, that type of thing. And I always try to overcook so that way I have it for, leftovers, because it helps me, because I don't always want to cook every night. I don't. I'm human. I do so much already that sometimes the idea of cooking and cleaning at the end of the night, my God, people, no. I was with him since a child, yes. I could never not have another dog. Yeah, it's hard for me to relax. I also, OCD, PCP, ADD, HEP, CNN, Fox News, whatever, I got all of it. Got all the, a lot of it's brought on by menopause. And I can't sit still because honestly, that's how I cope, right? That's how I cope. I cope with just keeping busy. I can't sit still. And if I'm sitting still, sometimes I'll take a breather on the couch or on my bed and I just see shit. And I'm like, fuck, how can I sit down when nothing's done? So I can't do that. A glitter bomb. So I would always do this, you guys. And so, bye, Judy. I complain. I'm a complainer too. But it doesn't mean I won't do it. I just sometimes need to complain a little bit. I want everybody to hear how I'm feeling at the moment. Sometimes I think everybody needs to know. Are you fucking kidding me? Why am I finding tobacco packets on the floor? Why is there tobacco? For the love of God, can you not use a coaster? You just put a ring on my table. One more. Can you not put your clothes in the hamper? Can you not? Why is the toilet paper on the outside of the trash can from blowing your nose?
Do I seriously have to clean up after all this shit you just dropped on the floor? It's not complaining. It's not complaining. You tell your husband to kiss your ass. If he could do his job, then maybe you wouldn't complain so much, right? It's the reality of, my God, can anybody wipe their own ass? You say I'm a complainer. I say I'm a reminder of what you should be doing instead of me. This is called a reminder of how you're failing to pick up after yourself, right? Okay. Yeah, I get in my car, right? My car is no longer my car. It's the Dan and Ed car. Shit everywhere, tobacco shit everywhere. I was so fucking pissed off. I'm like, for the love of God, I'm ready to go buy my own car. Even though I'm not going to drive it a lot, I'm going to park it, I'm going to cover it, and nobody's allowed in it but me. Fuck this shit. There's tobacco and coins. There's coins all over the floor. There's shit. There's bottles. What the hell is happening? Do you have a housekeeper, or have you considered having a person? Here's yeah, it's a reminder. And I hate driving the Porsche all the fucking time. I hate driving the Porsche all the time. My bunion does not like the clutch. Fuck. You should see me trying to put a seat in there to watch my nephews and nieces' soccer games. Got shit coming all out of my ears, hitting me in the head when I stop abruptly, you know? Thanks, Unky. Yeah, I get in the seat to sit up for him. Yeah, I just hate it. And yesterday I was just pissed. So I went out. I'm like, I have an appointment. I'm leaving. He's like, when? Now. And then I go in the car because I'm like, fuck this shit. I'm not taking the fucking Porsche. I'm taking my car, gosh darn it. And then I get in and there's just Slurpee shit everywhere. There's nicotine. And I'm like, ugh, what the fuck? And he's coming outside looking at me and I'm just glaring at him, putting the shit away, throwing it away. I'm like, here, take this shit. It's not mine. I give up reminding. And sometimes I don't remind, right? Sometimes I don't remind anymore because I'm doing it because it's my problem. It's not his. But the days that I'm pissed and I'm over here with everything else I got to do, I'm reminding. Like Hannah yesterday, Mom, I need you to do this for me. She ordered the fucking phone, the new Apple fucking phone. And she's like, I need you to go on and check the my progress. I'm like, okay. Ooh. An hour comes by later. Mom, did you check my progress yet? Hannah, I have not had a moment yet. Can you give me, I'll let you know when I check the fucking progress. 2 hours later. Mom, still haven't done it? Oh. Hannah Salinger, leave me alone. I will get to it in a minute. When I'm done, right? My husband does all the housework. He realizes he's big. That's nice. No, it's not smoking. It's nicotine pouches. I do too. I'm shit. Fuck. God damn it. Motherfucker. Who the hell lives in this house? This is ridiculous. Dan with his 5 billion fucking cups a day. He got a cup yesterday. It was a water cup. And then he went and goes to get another cup. Take the same fucking cup, dump it out, and put your shit in. What is wrong with people? Right? What is wrong with people? No, Hannah's getting the 16. Whatever one just came out. Yeah. So the cups. Yo. I use 1 cup a day. My grandpa used 1 cup a day. 1 cup. We ain't gonna get in this rigmarole of using 5 different cups for, the same fucking drink. No. Big triggers, Pam. Big triggers. Big triggers. Yeah. So I throw it, and then Dan gets mad at me, Leah. Then he can't find something. What did you do with it? Now Andrew started doing that shit too. Well, I can't find that. You must have done something. Oh, I must have done it because I clean up? Well, put your shit away and then you won't lose it. Rinse it out out and keep it. This is my cup. I keep mine specifically on the counter. It's very easy, you know, very easy, for fuck's sake. Yeah, no. So yeah, sometimes 80 leaves. I'm very just discreet about what I'm doing. I just do it. And then other days I like to remind. I like to remind them what they are not doing and what I am doing, because they are not. Yeah, silverware. Fuck, I hate silverware. Dan too. Takes one fucking bite of something, puts it down, then goes, gets another silverware, puts it down on my... Golly. So yeah, so Hannah ordered, yeah, I do that too sometimes. Sleeves, I do that too. I just recently bought him because he will use 5-6 cups a night, with, and put cereal and milk in it. 6 different cups. So in the morning time, I'm stacking them up and I'm like, come on, you know, hey Fupa. From New Jersey for a different bag, but I love your family and I know you. Thanks, James. You know, so I finally just caved and I just bought, I'm like, use these. Stop using it, because then I have to start the dishwasher for cups and nothing else. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I did. I just can't, you guys. I can't. And then Dan gets one, yeah, he gets a coffee cup, right? One, forgets it and goes, I don't know where my cup is, gets another one. Yeah. They live 30 minutes away. When I come home to dishes in the sink. Yeah, I bet you do. Make peace with how people are so you don't get triggered. Namaste. I'm human. I'm gonna get triggered. And if you tell me you don't get triggered, then you must be one in a million. For all the people coming on here saying, well, why do you let it bother you? Because some days you have enough. Some days you're overtired. Some days you just don't want to give anymore, right? Because you give all the time. About being clean, because I was a surgical nurse and he was a funeral. Oh, yeah. Open cans everywhere, wrappers, yeah, at my house. It happens everywhere. So that's why I get triggered. Yeah, and that's the thing. Somebody just said, well, just accept them for who they are. I accept them for who they are, but doesn't mean sometimes I'm getting pissed off about it, right? Because there's sometimes that I just want to be able to sit back and maybe enjoy some peace and solitude, but I can't because everybody's leaving their shit around. And some days I don't give a fuck. Some days I am just like, I dislike everybody in this house right now. I gotta give Ed a shower. I gotta clip his nails. I gotta trim his beard. I gotta put moisturizer on him. I gotta, do all this stuff, and I just don't want to give it to anybody anymore. So yeah. You get scared, terrified. OCD isn't just a quirky thing about wanting order. Oh, it is. Universal universe. OCD is a huge spectrum of different things. Just because you think it's one thing, it doesn't. It's a broad spectrum, kind of like Alzheimer's. Yeah, there's a broad spectrum on the spectrum about everything. OCD is about wanting things a particular way. It's your body reacting to something the way you want it to. Oh yeah, there is. Come on. Stop being so one-sided. I have the Marital one, and this one is on my TikTok shop, Rachel, the one that I use. Never peace. And sometimes, it is. I'm on the spectrum. We all are. Why does Danielle have to be the primary caretaker? Why do I have to be the primary caretaker? Why? Because that's just my nature. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Okay. Namaste. Josh is my half brother, yes. Washing left in washing machine 24 hours later. Now that's only my fault because, I do. Some days I cry, Pam, and some days I just laugh uncontrollably because I can't believe, this is my life sometimes. Sometimes I'm just like, Like, of course, I can't, I just can't. I do have to delegate, but who am I going to delegate to? Who am I going to delegate to? If you give me somebody to delegate to, I would love to delegate. But there's nobody in my house. Sometimes, Annette, I do too. I just feel like everybody wants something from me, right? It's always, the expectation is there. The expectation is that Dan can leave, right? And he could go and do his thing and I'm going to be here, right? He just leaves. Like I have to say, hey, by the way, I'm leaving. But he doesn't. He just leaves, you know? There's an expectation there, right? He can, you know, he just sits in his chair doing whatever he's doing, and he knows that I'm just going to make lunch for him. One day, the other day, I waited till 2:00, and he comes out, and I said, well, just to prove a point, right? And Grandpa was quiet, so it was, of course, if Grandpa was up and getting antsy out, and I ended up making him a meal anyway. I was busy doing stuff, and I'm like, well, it's 2:00. I guess Grandpa needs to eat, you know? At Togo's. I'm not in San Diego, but Hannah is. I'm in Northern California, but I would love to go to San Diego. And so it's like, well, I'll do it. And he's like, oh, well, if you want me to go out and get him something to eat, no, don't worry, it's 2. I'll do it now. You know, they do. There's a certain expectation that people have for one another. And Dan's is that he knows I will end up doing it. And it sucks sometimes, right? Because it just sucks. Sometimes I just don't want to do it, or I don't want the expectation. I want the communication. Hey, you know, what's this and what's that? Tammy, I'm going to tell you something. I really hate those questions. If you're so unhappy, why do you stay? First of all, who said I was unhappy? That's number one. Number two, why do I stay? Because I love my husband. Marriage is a hard work. It's not like marriage is always easy. I don't know who you grew up with or how you grew up or how you stay married, but marriage is ups and downs all the time, right? If everybody said, well, why do you stay? I mean, a divorce rate would be higher than it is now. Like, I can't handle those stupid questions. Well, why do you stay if you're unhappy? I've never said I was unhappy. I'm bitching because it's bitchable offenses in my house, right? I mean, as most of you are here, it's bitchable fucking offenses. But it doesn't mean like I'm going to divorce my husband over toilet paper rolls and using 5 fucking cups a day. That's a divorceable offense? No. The right things are the important things. He's loyal. He doesn't cheat. He doesn't abuse me. He just doesn't always think about my needs. He just doesn't always think about my needs. Robin, honey, you chose to be here, honey. Bless your heart, but you chose to be here. I just put it out there. I'm black and white. I'm going to tell you my reality of marriage, right? I'm putting it out. The people who say, well, why are you so unhappy? Why do you stay? No, you're the ones who are unhappy. You're assuming that what I'm saying is unhappiness. No, that's not unhappiness. Those are coping mechanisms by telling people. Everybody deals with that in their marriage. And if you look around and take the time to read most of the comments, most of these women and men are like, oh, my house too, same, same. You don't break up when you're married just because you're pissed off at laundry. And yeah, and it's okay, right? It's okay to be unhappy sometimes. Sometimes I'm not happy. Sometimes I hate everybody. And I'm like, why am I here? But everybody just wants to use me for their own advantages. Well, you know, fuck you. What about me? It's normal to talk, and that's what I've dealt and built my platform on, is honesty. I'm not afraid to say what some of you are afraid to say. And those of you who question me and try to put it back on me, you're the ones who are afraid to say how you truly feel. That's called insecurity. That's called just not facing the facts or self-reflection. That is just being untrue to yourself. Yeah. And that's just plain and simple. You know, just because I talk about those things doesn't mean my marriage is falling apart. It just shows that I have the same shit everybody else has, and I'm not happy about it either. My hair looks greasy as fuck. Thank you. I just worked out. Why the fuck would I come on here with clean hair? So We know who wears the pants in the family. It's not Dan. Dan is very well taken care of. Not always sexually, because this bitch is tired and she angry at the end of the day because it's just one more person needing something from me, right? The fuck? Doesn't it sound like that's right here? But I'm tired at the end of the night. I don't have time or energy. It's like, oh, you need one more thing from me tonight? Sure. Here you are, buddy. Here it is. Let me pull off the pants for you. Have your way with me, but I'm not entertaining. I'm not entertaining anything. I'm beat to shit. I'm hormonal. I am cramping. My stomach hurts. I'm spotting. I have just had a full day of yard work and housework and cooking and cleaning, and I'm tired. I'm tired. Give me something. Do it for me. Do something for me, Drake. Out sexually, out of the box of the sexual. I'm not looking for an organism. I don't want an organism. That's not going to give me the satisfaction and the help I need. An organism does not fix the help I need.
Go right ahead, Pop. I got you. I got you.
Yeah, I can't anymore, right?
Right ahead, Pop.
I can't anymore. You can have it, but...
See, do you need a jacket?
What?
Do you need a jacket?
I don't think so.
There you go. I told you you wouldn't need a jacket.
And that is the truth, my friends. That is the truth. There's Grandpa and Ed. I don't sleep better. Actually, I'm going to tell you something, Melanie. If I have an organism, lately, this is a new thing at 50. Fuck my life. It keeps me up. It keeps me up. I don't fall asleep. Dan falls asleep. I don't fall asleep, and I'm up. So, the organism does not help me sleep. It does not. And that's a new thing. Melanie, my body has changed so much in the last 5 fucking months that now I'm like, do. It was almost like a caffeine pill or something. It doesn't make me sleep well. Now, if it did, I would say, dine at the Y, buddy. Get me going and let's get it and let's do it. But I am so fucking tired at the end of the night. I mean, I can't tell you that I run myself ragged. And that sometimes I can't do it. I can't do it. And I just don't have the energy to put into it. Especially these hormones. Oh, Christine. So it's just a new, fucking thing for me to deal with life and the changes in my body. But it is what it is, And I tell Dan too all the time. I say, you need to read up on this shit, You need to read up on this shit because you need to understand what I'm going through. Have a little bit more empathy for me and maybe my needs and the things that will get me to be more responsive to you. And it takes it takes self-awareness. It takes effort to put it in, and to do those things. And when you're in a certain environment and your relationship, if you don't put in the work to change, right, you get stuck. And I am in such a crucial point in my life right now with all my changes. Joy Ginger, you said it. I am not his stress reliever. Exactly, right? Exactly. Why do I need to be your stress reliever? But who takes away my stress? Who helps me with my stress, right? That is the best thing. You put it right. I am not his stress reliever. But why do they come to us for wanting stress relief when we're sitting here struggling with trying to balance all the changes, right? Holy fucking shit. Yes. Well, I need you. You need me. But what about when I need you? Oh, that's different. And why do men have everything to do with sex? Well, this helps me. Well, what helps me? Well, if you allow it to help you, it can. No, 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 no. Women aren't that way. We're emotional humans. We're emotional beasts. Most of us. There are some women who just want to get it in and get it out and then continue the fight. I don't have it. Same thing. He won't look it up. I hate total history. Oh, shit. Bingo. We're not your stress relief. But they come to us because they rely on us to help them, but they don't realize how many things that we need them to do to help us, right? So he couldn't wait until my 6 weeks after my hysterectomy. Yeah. And it's like, sometimes like, we're like, yeah, because that's what I'm thinking about. You know, I literally am spotting, right? My back's cramping. I have new cramps now. I have cramps. I've never had cramps my whole entire life. But now, my body has blessed me with frontal cramps and back cramps. Back cramps. Ha 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 ha. Back cramps. Yeah, so that's what I'm thinking about doing, is helping you. Yeah, no. Back cramps. Y'all, I didn't even have back cramps with my babies. He says he considers my needs all the time. And Southern dude, you know, here's the thing. I feel like some women expect us to be able to read their minds, though. I'm going to tell you, Dan says that too. I can't read your mind. Okay, you've been with me for 30 fucking years. Take the time. I'm tired of talking to you about the same shit over and over again. I'm trying to telling you how I feel. I'm trying to tell you what I need from you, right? So sometimes if we've been in a relationship long enough, we're like, figure it fucking out. You better learn how to mind read right now, because you should know by now. I know him like the back of my hand. I don't need him to tell me, right, how he's feeling or what he's doing, because I've been around him enough. But somehow he doesn't know me and my ways or what I'm feeling. Well, you got to tell me. I have to tell you to take out a garbage that's overflowing and you're pushing it down. You can't mind read that. That's not, huh? I have to tell you to pick up your clothes. It's mind reading. You need to, yeah. Go back to the early years. Bob, you can't go back to the early years anymore. The early years are done. Kids have happened. Bodies have changed. We're different. We're all fucking changed in our heads. Our brains are different. You can't go back to the beginning. Trash comment.
Get down, Mr. Keems. Come on, Mr. Keems. Come on, Mr. Keems. Come on, I know.
Yeah, but so the whole, playground fornication shit, to me, that doesn't repair. That doesn't make my stress less, right? It almost sometimes makes it more, because I feel like, one more thing I gotta do before the end of the day.
Here's something you can do.
And then for me.
Take some time off and go to that.
You need to go to that. How to treat your wife. Keynote speaker, Danielle Salinger.
It's a limited event.
Dan,
Never mind, I'll find someone like.
Dan puts the bills down right here for me. Here's your bills.
Tell me doesn't look good right there. Look at them burgers.
Dan,
Ooh.
Dan doesn't even.
$2.19 for waffle fries, onion rings, or fried zucchini.
Dan's like, here's your bills. Have fun.
I'm hungry. I am really hungry. But do you know I ate In-N-Out last night?
Yeah, I heard you rudely scrunching up. It sounded like a fucking cardboard box you were banging. I saw all the In-N-Out all over the kitchen.
Well, that wasn't me. Everyone had In-N-Out.
What did you eat?
I had one hamburger.
Yeah, I heard you eating it, rustling around.
One hamburger.
Yeah.
And it was we saw the show. By the way, if you guys haven't seen Casey Musgraves,
I'm telling you, I need a new. Everything's
This guy?
changing from now on.
I don't care.
I
all
don't care
his-
either.
I-
You can have your Nick Bosa.
I-
I got my new person. That's
Listen,
it. And it's
this guy right here,
KM.
he is so imperfect, but I still love this fucker and all his imperfections. I love that he.
I'm in love with KM now.
Oh, okay, well, bye.
You can have Nick. I get KM.
Bye.
All right. She doesn't know yet, but
What's that?
my new girlfriend.
What?
My new girlfriend, Pop.
Who's that?
Her name is Casey Musgraves.
I didn't hear.
Casey Musgraves.
Musgrave.
Musgraves. She's my new girlfriend.
That's your new girlfriend?
Yeah, but she doesn't know it yet.
What?
She doesn't know that yet.
Oh.
She's a singer, Dad. I saw her in concert last night. She was on stage.
He left them right
I was
there.
in the audience.
He didn't bring them in. He just left them for me
You
to
think
bring
that's
in.
funny? That's my new girlfriend, though. I got to drive to San Francisco where they're playing tonight.
Well, if you're happy with it and she's happy with it.
I think she'll be happy with it. I mean, she's a little younger than me.
A
She's
little.
about 20 years younger than me.
Ed knows. Ed knows
I'm
about that.
56. So she's like
Muskrat.
36. She lives in Texas, though.
For what?
She lives in Texas. So it might be a commute, but I'm willing to make the sacrifice.
Well, maybe you and Ed can move in with her.
I'm ready to go.
Take your dad and adios.
I'm ready to go.
What?
Casey. That's all you gotta know. Casey. KM.
The beginning
She's a
phases,
singer,
Sam.
Pop. She's a
The beginning
singer.
phases. Yeah.
All right.
I
you ready to
didn't
go
know.
inside?
I stayed
All
home.
right. Get your bearings. I'll help you up. Walk that way. Power up that step.
Want to go out here?
Yeah, power right up that step. We'll go in.
Okay.
Up. There you go. Let me open that, Pop. All right. Power right in.
Thank you.
There you go. Just walk straight.
Right there, too.
Yeah. Walk straight.
I didn't go. I was so tired, you guys. I took a 3-hour nap yesterday, off and on. I could not get out of bed. I was just dead. And I went to go to bed. I fell asleep at 7:30 last night. Again. It's like my third day in a row falling asleep. Yeah, that early. There's just no way. They didn't get home till like 11:30. I would not have been able. I would have probably ended up Ubering back myself. I just didn't want to, I just couldn't. Between you and me, she's not that special. I think, you know what? She is a Texas girl. And the guy who works for her, Dan's friend Martin, the guy who was here, he's the sound guy. He's her sound guy.
For real though, she's really good.
He lives in San Antonio. Yeah, he lives in San Antonio too. So she is a Texas girl. But Dan is really impressed with her because she writes her own music. So
Very impressed. And she's really witty on stage, and it's not rehearsed lines that she uses at every concert because they're unique to the location she was in, and she's interacting with people in the audience. It was really impressive. She's just got her stuff together, and she's been a partier. She doesn't party much anymore, but she's lived a life already at 30. She was
She's
35 or
36.
36 years old. So pretty cool. She blonde or brunette?
she's brunette, I think. I mean, what do you mean you don't know? You just saw her last night.
I mean, with the lighting, it's tough to tell. But somewhere
She's a brunette.
somewhere in between there, blonde or brunette, I couldn't tell.
Jesus.
Let me look her up.
She's a brunette.
She's a brunette, I think. I wasn't. Never mind. She's gorgeous though, and unbelievably talented. Unbelievably talented. And she did a show in bare feet. That's got to be worth something.
She did?
Yeah.
Yeah, I looked her up. I pulled her up yesterday, and I knew she's brunette. Dan has been watching her videos all week and went to her concert and still doesn't know if she's brunette.
You guys change your hair color all the time, especially people that are famous. So, I mean, maybe she was brunette recently. Maybe she was blonde. I don't know. It's not important. It's not about hair or hair color. Hair is not very important. Although she does have a beautiful head of hair.
How do you know that if you don't know her color? Get the hell out of here.
Never gonna find someone like her.
I can't with my husband. What's there not to love? There's a lot to complain about with that guy, but I still fucking love him, and that's why I'm here. Because if I didn't love him, I wouldn't be here. Plain and simple. Oh, Mark's here. I have to fucking help Mark with something. I'm not originally from Michigan, no. That's no nice. That's not nice. Why is that not nice? I just said I loved my husband. How is that not nice? I don't understand that. I love the Steelers. How is that? There's a lot to complain about. He's got a lot to complain. You know what his only complaint would be about me? I'm going to tell you. His only complaint about me would be I don't give him enough sex. How could he complain about anything else? I do everything. I mean, he's spoiled. Talk about spoiled. I mean, my man is spoiled, right? What do I think about P. Diddy? I think he's in trouble, and thank God. So, anyhow. And it's not even, like, there's certain things that, but no, sometimes a little less stress would be nice. Not having to pay all the bills and not having to make all the responsibilities and like our rental right now. And I can't even talk to him about that stuff. Okay, Velma. I was like, what's not nice? I just said I loved him. I have to he can't talk about finances. It stresses him out. He doesn't even know what our finances are. He has no idea what our finances are. I do it all. Mark, I'll be in a little bit.
All right.
I do it all. And so sometimes like that would be nice not to have, and just being a sounding board would be nice.
Oh.
Let's say. So, sometimes having to make all the decisions about, repairs and costs of things and like, what do you think? Should we do this? Should we do that? And having that all on my shoulders all the time is very monotonous, I bet Diddy's not coming out alive, honestly. I don't think Diddy's coming out alive. I feel bad for the Diddy's children, especially the girls. Like, how do you, when you have girls, right? How do you, probably the same age as some of the other girls, right? That they used. I'm going to get crazy. Do I listen to Diddy? No, never have. I've never been a Diddy fan. I've always thought something was off with him. I've always thought something was wrong with him. And I just couldn't, I just don't value. I just have a hard time with, I sense things. I knew he was a troublemaker, so no. What happens if finances stresses you out? Finances stress me out. Why don't finances stress you out? I have to make all the calls. I pay all the bills. I know how much money goes out every month. I know what we need a month, right? I know what it costs. I know, I pay tuitions. I do this. I juggle. I have all the money. I mean, he wouldn't even know if we have, he doesn't even know how much money I have in my accounts. He just can't deal with it. It stresses him out. But it doesn't mean that it doesn't stress me out too. Once in a while, it would be nice to be like, hey, do you think, I think we should just do it. Well, I understand we have to do it, but like sometimes I get stressed, right? And I want to talk about it because it helps me work through it. He'll get what he does, the poor Bieber kid. I'm scared about Bieber. I think there's so many, it's not just Bieber. I mean, let's be real. I mean, it's hitting probably, I mean, this is bigger than we even know, and, you look back on all the Bieber, the Bieber evolution, and you look back on him in certain points of his life and you're like, fuck, he got Usher too. Yeah, it's going. I mean, it's bigger than we even realize. And it's going to come out and it's going to be just mortifying. It's going to be mortifying. So it's sad, and it's sad. And, and it's sad that they put people in this situation, and they force them, these girls, these young girls and they were just used to anybody's discretion. What? And these are probably girls who, thought, well, shit, maybe I can become something, and they're just not strong enough or whatever. I mean, I cannot. I mean, it's so mortifying. So mortifying. And who knows? Oh, there were so many films. Everything was recorded. There was fucking cameras everywhere, you guys. I mean, come on. Those cameras, everything is gonna tell everybody's business. There's nobody getting out of this shit. Yeah, I'm knowing Diddy. Look at Rihanna. I don't know about Rihanna. I have a feeling they let it go for way too long. I have a feeling that we're going to find out a lot of stuff. Yeah. Yeah, anyhow. All right, guys. There's going to be so many people. I'm just saying and I'm mortified for the innocent people who got bamboozled and who got hurt and who got manipulated and used just for pleasure. Boys, girls. I mean, it's horrible. And it's so evil and it's so corrupt, and people just turning the blind eye and knowing this shit that was happening and just went along with it because of the power P. Diddy had. Yeah. It won't stop. Because look how long it took Diddy to get caught. And criminals, right? Pedophiles, they think they can get along with it. As long as you have money, you have power. That's horrible. Anyway, all right, you guys. You are important, you matter, and your feelings are valid. Just remember that. Every day is a new day. Every day is a new struggle, a new thing we have to deal with, and you just got to keep on trudging. Today is the day, the Tuesday. Happy Tuesday to all my badass sobs out there. Keep on trudging, keep on doing the best you can, and keep your head above water, because every day is a different day. Especially in the world of caregiving. Especially in the world of caregiving. Sorry. Love you guys. I got to go help Mark with something he can't figure out. So, I got some stuff. So have a good day, you guys. I should be on tonight unless I call it quits. So if you are a member on YouTube, look for me. I should be on. If you don't see me by 5, then my day is kaput for some reason, or I've gone to the casino. Probably not though. Anyway, love you guys. Have a great day. See you later.